Hello everyone, my name is Crow, and this is Project Architect 2. This is episode 31. So I'm down here in my little thermal area in what will soon be a graveyard or memorial yard, and I'm just doing some work around here. I set up a couple things, and I'll show you them just to kind of enhance the area a little bit, and also we'll talk about this. This is what our project for today is going to be. But first thing is I made a pyrolyzer and a magma crucible. Pyrolyzer is useful to make creosote oil, which doesn't really have a use at this point for me. But more importantly, it can make tar. So that's actually what I'm using this for right now. Tar we'll use later because it's used for spawner modification. I also have a magma crucible, and this is used to make a couple things, glowstone, destabilized redstone, but more importantly, lava. So this is my source of lava because I can use one netherrack, which is one EMC, turn it into a bucket of lava. So nice and easy. A renewable source of lava. Um, I went and I created a stellar integral component for each of my machines down here. And then I also went and maybe I'll break this. I stuck you can see it here, an ME interface down here because if you recall, last time we used the Architron to craft the Archimorph. We stick in 1.25 billion EMC, a couple sticky balls which are essentially free because they all come from like a couple sunflowers and an amethyst, and then a Supreme machine frame. A machine frame, if you remember, is not super expensive either. But I have this interface with a crafting card, and so it will create a Architron, some sticky balls as needed, and then a Supreme machine frame. And I just have this inserting. This is a counting filter, so it will insert one Architron, two sticky balls, and a Supreme machine frame. Um, Whenever it can. That will make it automatically craft the Archimorph, which means I gain like what 5 billion EMC. Easy. So the hold up here is of course the Supreme machine frame, but as just as a standalone kind of um, basically passive EMC generation, it's great. Because I'm doing it this way, and I have the pattern provider underneath set to don't push anything if it contains a pattern input, then it will actually um, finish what it's doing, right? It'll finish creating this, and then it'll have just a split second to stick in if it wants to actually craft something like stellarium or melodium or whatever. It does have time to do that before this next set of stuff gets inserted. So it still functions as a standalone induction smelter. What else do we need to do? I also, let's head over to the ME system because I made a couple changes over here. The first change was I created a storage cell. I made another 256 item storage cell, and I used my um, upgrades. That's the equal distribution upgrade and the overflow, basically a void upgrade. And I crafted those um, because these are things that I'm going to need for a quest later on. And so I basically have I forget it. So I crafted a couple fluid storage cells. Um, So this is where I'm sticking my lava and the creosote, and then also tree oil that gets crafted as a byproduct of making the rosin. And so that all just fills up in here, and I have a void upgrade in here, so eventually it will just all get be avoided. So, heading on back here, I also grew a spruce tree. And down here, I have an arboreal extractor. And what this is doing is it is extracting resin from the spruce log that's getting stored in one of those fluid cells. And that is how when I fractionate and still here, that's how I get rosin. And rosin, again, is used for spawner modifications. So that means that my rosin is crafted on demand. That arboreal extractor, it does have a pipe going down, just straight down, so that it all ends up in my storage system. I think it's, what is it, a pipe behind here? Just goes in here, and that just goes straight into a pattern provider or something. I'm not sure exactly if it's an interface or a pattern provider. Probably this pattern provider for this guy. That makes sense. Okay, so the next step of the things that we got to do is we're going to make the Archilution. This is a relatively easy thing. The stellar integral components is just a crafting recipe. Requires a few stellarium, a few melodium, and those are just induction smelting recipes, but nothing terribly insane. Just gold, amethyst, chorus fruit. So those are just regular crafting recipes right here. So nothing terribly excited. But and then of course Archimorph, which is just the EMC. The energy efficiency and energy nullifier augments are also just crafting recipes. Just Indirium, Melodium again, and then Echo Shards. And so this is all mostly EMC. The difficult part is going to be these things right here. The Basalts, Blitz, and Blizz motes. Blitz motes, we actually have like a ton. Because if you recall, those were appearing in my mob farm because that mob farm, that dirt up top was in a desert. And so this dreadful dirt was spawning blitzes. But the basalts and the blizz, and I don't actually have any blizz, those I don't have. I don't have any of the blizz cubes, so I need to get more of them. So to do that, I'm going to create a blizz and a basalt spawn egg, and this is where these mob swabs that I've been using in this guy right here have kind of started paying dividends. So I had mob swabs for the blizz, basalts, and I'm also going to do the breeze as well. And so I will, let's make that, let's take care of that. Okay, great. So now I have a breeze, blizz, and basalts spawn eggs. And I basically made a new mob farm over here. I took down my mob masher from the other mob farm. It wasn't really being used because I have kind of turned that one over there into a pink slime and liquid meat farm. So it doesn't really need to be monitored. And it wasn't using this mob masher. And what I did is I got some mob spawners. I dropped them down and I added a couple, some comparators. And so they now have redstone control. And then I added a redstone link to the back of each of them. So now these are all redstone controlled. And then you can tell which one is being controlled by the color. So like this is the green one. Now the green one is on. Nice and easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch these over. So we'll have this one be the basalts, this one be the breeze, and this one be the blizz. Okay, so that's not red and white. Okay. So these will start spawning things in. And this is not by any means the most efficient farm layout because I basically removed half of the spawning spaces for these things. But I mean, that's okay. I don't need this to be super, super... I don't need this to be like super efficient. But what's going to happen is it's going to spawn them. We're going to kill them. I'm going to mob spawn them or mob swab them again. So there's my another breeze. Oh, he... This is off. So that is those wind charges. The wind charges apparently activate redstone. Okay. Oh, and there is a blizz in there. I'll have to go get him. Anyways, but over here, so this is my absorption hopper, and it will collect experience in this area here, which is where all the killing is going to be happening. And so it'll send all the experience down below. That's totally fine. But it'll also pick up everything. What I'm going to have it do is this is a subnet. And so I'm going to have it spit into this interface. This will automatically, with this high priority, it will automatically try to send things into the transmutation interface first because it is the highest priority, which means it will try and basically turn everything in here into EMC first. Anything it can't turn into EMC, let me go down here. I'm going to have it, if it's these things, I'll have it spit them into the task screen. I already have these storage buses filtered, and they are set for higher priority as well. And then anything else, it's going to get sent into my main storage system. So everything here is not even connected with a P2P or anything. It is a separate, completely separate network. I do need to deal with this stuff right here. Right? I cannot let all this stuff just dump into my system. That's just it's real bad. That's how my world gets corrupted. So I can't do that. But for the time being, let's see, this is east. And we can see it's sending in the breeze rods first. All right. So let me just do a quick. I need to get this guy. Okay, Liz. Yeah, so now I just need the basalls. And this is okay. And the reason why the basalls hasn't spawned yet is because I need some other things in here. I have chorus fruit, dragon egg, and conduit, and these ignores players. Where was it? Chorus fruit is going to be no AI. I don't really want AI on these things. What's a conduit? Ignores. Wait. Ignores players and ignores conditions. Okay, and then my basalls is green, so I want the green one on. Perfect. All right, awesome. Yeah, there we go. So now the last thing I need to do is I need to bring all these mobs into the mob masher, and I could use a fan. What I think I'm going to do though is I'm going to use a tablet of attraction. And I think that's pretty neat. So the tablet of attraction just brings acts as kind of like a magnet, not terribly fast, but fast enough. And so it will just drag them in because it is between the mob masher and these guys. There we go. It should take them out. Now the last thing I need to do is these are kind of slow. We can see that they have a max spawn delay of 800, 800, and 800. And so I want to, at the very least, lower the max spawn delay. And so I need Rosen and Tar. And Tar's the min, so Rosen. And we can see now it's at like going down, going down, going down. So a lot, this is gonna, in order to max these things out, it's gonna require a lot of Rosen. I can't make too much right now because I am limited by that spruce tree up top. But just as time goes on, I will continue to, just continue to work on it. So this is now self-sufficient. So it will, I've already got 115 here. This will speed this up, or this will fill these up, and then it will start going into my AE2 system. But I have one Blizz, and I have a Basal's, so I can make one of the Archilutions. And that's kind of what I'm looking to do. So let's head back over here. And oh, also between episodes, I did this. I made it. This is going to be like my void wall, because these breeze charm fragments are they're just going to start like collecting, and so I just wanted to have a place to stick them all, because like I do have these evoker charms and I'm just going to keep collecting them, and I don't think I can filter them like a really good way. So I have them over there, and then basically everything here that I put in here, it's going to have like the absolute minimum into here, and then void it all. So like these are normally like 512, and then gets voided. Couple things like this, there is a quest to have like a couple thousand of these, so I upgraded the storage. But this way I can keep having my Drigmees going, and then it's not clogging up my storage system. All right. So I should be able to make an Archilution. So let's create the recipe. And I already have it primed here. I believe I have the efficiency and the energy nullifier already on autocraft. And this is in a dissolution chamber. Right. And so we can see that it'll, I see as soon as it finished, it started making the, I think this is Melodium here that it's making. So having that, that kind of, that little thing back here to do this doesn't affect it slightest. And now that it's done, boom, it'll go back and, all right, Archilution. Now let's see what the, what do I need to hold? Hold a bucket of refined sunflower oil. Okay. Oh, that was easy. All right, let's see what we got. Anything good? I don't even know. Oh, I got an ultimate pipe upgrade. Great. So this is 31 billion. I wonder if this is a I wonder if this is going to be like the best way to kind of like bits and piece all of these. What's my EMC gain? 6 to 31. I think it's probably still going to be better just to like passive this thing. Just because there's like 0 EMC involved, and all these things craft really, really, like this obviously, these just craft basically instantly. This crafts honestly pretty fast. Whereas these things definitely would take much longer. And in order to make the sunflower oil, I still have to make the sticky balls, right? Because that's how I get them. So like I still have to make the sunflower oil anyways, or make the sticky balls anyways. So I mean, okay. All right, so things are looking good. Things are looking good. All right, and then I tied this guy. So this guy, when it creates the source energy, it sends it down to, there's a warper down here. This warper sends to this jar, and so it will keep him full, as well as sending it back to my kind of my battery over at the other side of the base. So this should stay full, yeah. So this will fill up. I will continue making EMC this way. Eventually, I will turn these guys back on, because if we look at the rest of our quests, and we're getting real close to the kind of the end of the automation, and starting looking at this final star. But endgame wise, I am gonna have to do. These are all the quests that involve destroying mobs, and so for example, we are gonna have to do vexes and Elder Guardians and collect these charms. And so that's, I will, at that point, this will be done, and then I will put replace those spawn eggs with something else so that I can start crafting them and have like Vexes or whatever in them. Um, Honestly, Vexes wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to do now and just get them going. But again, that's probably for another day. And then I do need to, pretty this place up a little bit. But this, as it is kind of like at an end state. Once these are done, then I'll just rip this down, and then all of this will be underground. And then the only thing, these are just so I can tick redstone tick these dreadful dirts and get more spawns out of them. But I do need to make sure that this is all spawn proof. Just it's good practice to keep things spawn proof, especially when it's right beside a mob farm. Okay, the absolute last thing on the docket for today is I'm gonna deal with this. So right here I have, this is like has been my initial storage since basically forever. So these are just all 1K storage cells. And so basically because of the EMC link, I have all of my stuff for the most part in 10 1K storage cells, which is just crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. So I have access to billions and billions of items through the EMC interface. And so I don't have a whole lot of items there. What I'd like to do is I'd like to create a bulk item storage cell, or sorry, a deep item storage disk. So the deep item storage disk, we will start crafting this. Does require a storage component there, but this is very similar to the refined storage way of doing things, where it doesn't require, it doesn't have types. And so it's just like 256K just bytes, right? And as we can see, this is like not many bytes at all. Like all these together is, maybe like 2,000 bytes. So hopefully, I might be able to fit all these on that single drive there. Honestly, I bet I will. Yeah. I just took 10 drives of storage down to a single drive. This has, look at that, 13,000 bytes out of 256,000. Perfect. So this is definitely a little bit of future proofing. Yeah, see, I already got over 1,000 of these guys. All right, well, thanks for watching. If you have any comments or tips or tricks or any suggestions, please feel free to leave them down below. And otherwise, I'll see you next time. Take care.